I want to be very clear. I don't care if you follow what I have been showing or not. I am not doing this for likes nor fame. Yah has given me a job to do, and that is to make sure true Yisrael is ready. The time is at hand. And they asked him, saying, Rabbi, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, Take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am HaMashiach, and the time draws near, go ye not therefore after them. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Lucas 21:7-10 Sefer.
As the fighting escalates in Ukraine, Russian President Vladimir Putin is trying to justify the war. He did it during a speech on the country's Victory Day. It's typically a day of celebrations honoring the end of World War II, but this year it comes as the war in Ukraine that Russia has forced enters its 75th day. On Monday, Putin did not declare victory in Ukraine or hint as to where the war is headed next. Meanwhile, President Biden signed a bill making it easier for the U.S. to lend or lease military equipment to Ukraine.
The atrocities that the Russians are engaging in are just beyond the pale. And the cost of the fight is not cheap, but caving to aggression is even more costly. That's why we're staying in this.
President Biden is also urging Congress to approve a nearly $40 billion aid bill for Ukraine, warning existing aid will run out in just 10 days.
Welcome back. As the White House continues its focus on providing Ukraine with the support it needs in its war against Russia, President Biden will turn his attention to another region today with its own security concerns. It's Southeast Asia. The president will host Southeast Asian leaders at the White House as the U.S. seeks to assure our allies in that region that it is committed to their security amid a looming threat from China. The timing of this meeting happens to come as our latest episode of Meet the Press Reports takes you inside something that's never been seen on camera. A full-day war game exercise that imagines how America would react to a Chinese attempt at essentially invading and taking Taiwan. Welcome back.
And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you, and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues, and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. Lucas 21:11-15 Sefer.
Talking about problems
of a strong.
Here's a strange one in Texas. Too many earthquakes. You don't really associate that with Texas. You think about cowboys, barbecues, assault on women's rights. But you don't think about earthquakes. So this headline should surprise you. Texas is becoming the tremor capital of the United States. Let me show you the numbers and pay attention to this. In 2015, there were 6 earthquakes above 3 on the Richter scale. 6. 6 again in 2016. And after that, the numbers exploded. 55 in 2019, 98 in 2020, 209 in 2021, and this year 59 earthquakes have been reported already. Why is this a strange problem for Texas? Because earthquakes were not a thing before. Tremors used to be separated by years in Texas. Now that gap has come down to days. And the reason is oil. Texas is the leading oil producer in the United States. In 2021, they produced 1.7 billion barrels of oil. Shell, Exxon, all of them drill for oil in western Texas. And this drilling can affect the geology of the land. I'll tell you how. Oil alone does not come out of the oil wells. A lot of wastewater is also released. Now, these companies will happily ship away the oil. But what do they do with the water? The cheapest option is this: push it back into the ground. Most oil companies use that option. They dump the wastewater back into the ground. And how much water are we talking about? In Texas, around 15 million barrels per day. 15 millions every day. We are talking about underground water here, not something that you bought off Amazon. You cannot just return it the next day. If you do, you disturb the balance of nature. This is the science behind the Tremor Fest in Texas. Simply put, it is man-made. But two questions remain. Number one, do oil companies know about this? And number two, why does this not happen elsewhere? The first question has an obvious answer.
Crumbled buildings, destructive tsunamis, and devastated communities. The impact of earthquakes can be enormous, so much so that they can reshape the Earth's surface with their force.
This giant rock's just fallen on the RSA building.
For most of us, earthquakes are most closely associated with places such as Japan, New Zealand or California. But the ground beneath Australia's feet is not as geologically stable as many think.
Is it an earthquake or a structural thing?
I don't know.
Let's go.
On average, Australia has 700 reported earthquakes a year. Already in 2022, hundreds of people were rattled by a 4.7 magnitude earthquake in WA's Great Southern. It occurred near Wagen and was the biggest of a swarm of 40 earthquakes in that region in the space of 3 weeks, something that happens quite frequently in the area. So why does Australia, which is not on a plate line, get earthquakes, and why are some regions more prone to them? The Australian tectonic plate boundary runs around the Indonesian archipelago, through the southwest Pacific and New Zealand, and ends midway between New Zealand and Antarctica. And like all plates, it's constantly moving, colliding into the Pacific plate to Australia's north and east, and the Eurasian plate to the northwest. The collision between moving plates generates stress deep inside the Earth's crust, and you'll see most of the big earthquakes on the plate boundaries. But that pressure also creates what's known as intraplate fault lines. You can think of it like a pavlova. If you put pressure on its edges, that's where the biggest cracks will be. But you'll also see cracks starting to form on the inside of the pav too.
But woe and great earthquakes shall be in diverse, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck, in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem, shall be trodden down of the other nations, until the times of the other nations be fulfilled. Lucas 21:23-24 Sefer.
Being allowed to continue its journey. Imran, as I said, I know you couldn't see. Mohan, I think we can hear you now.
I have never seen security forces attack a funeral with such audacity, with such chutzpah, the way this scene is evolving right now in front of us. They are just trying to carry, and they're trying to bury one of their own, and the police is there as if there is an enemy ahead of them. It's their own victim being buried, and here they are with such an incredible rudeness. Again, I mean, I have reported, I have analyzed, I have looked at news throughout the world for decades, and I've never seen a scene like this. Look at that. Attacking innocent people, carrying a casket. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say anymore. What are they expecting now? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh my God. Such disrespect for the dead and for those who are mourning the dead. No respect for people alive and no respect for the people dead. Adrian, please tell me, and maybe our viewers around the world will tell us, how are these people a threat to Israel?
How are they a threat to security? They are in their courtyard trying to mourn one of their own dead. How is that a security threat to anyone? How is that disorderly? Why does that require this kind of repression, this kind of violence on the part of Israelis? And again, these people are under orders to carry such an attack. These people don't carry such attack on their own. They have been ordered to do this. And the world is watching. The world is watching. Probably they will be calling it tomorrow counterterrorism. I want to know, how is this a security threat? How is this terrorism? To be attacking innocent people, civilians, trying to mourn one of their own, a victim of Israeli occupation. Unprecedented. Utterly criminal. Years.
Mom, sorry to...
The king. And then shall they see the son of Adam coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up, and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws nigh. And he spoke to them a parable, behold the fig tree, and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. So likewise ye, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of Elohim is nigh at hand. Amen, I say unto you, this nation shall not pass away, till all be fulfilled. Lucas 21:27-32 Sefer. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting, and drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Adam. Lucas 21:33-36 Sefer. The king gave us instructions for such a time as this. Day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Adam. Will you follow his instruction or be stiff-necked?